Reboot your credit card with Apple Card. It gives you unlimited daily cash back that can earn 4.15% annual percentage yield when you open a savings account. A high-yield, low-effort way to grow your money with no fees. Apply for Apple Card now in the Wallet app on iPhone to start earning and growing your daily cash with savings today. Apple Card subject to credit approval. Savings is available to Apple Card owners, subject to eligibility. Savings accounts by Goldman Sachs Bank USA. Member FDIC. Terms apply.
You are listening to the Hiking Radio Network, where we talk the walk with shows by hikers, about hikers, for everybody.
I'm wondering if you'd go wandering with me through the wilderness and woods to where the winds are blowing free, through the darkness of the night, heading toward the morning.
Welcome to the Jester Section Hiker Podcast, with the spotlight on section hikers.
And I'll spread the word, and you beat the drum. We'll round up the troops and get the gang to come. And we'll leave the streets and these neighborhoods, head over the river and through the woods.
All right, you guys. Welcome back to the Jester Section Hiker Podcast, your premier podcast with a spotlight on section hikers. And I am your host, Julie Jester Gayheart. And this season, season 4, we are back with a twist. And part of that twist is we have a name for our season. It is titled The Positive Impact Season. And I'm excited. First of all, first and foremost, I want to say over the last 2 months, I have gotten some of the most amazing emails from each and every one of you after taking a break from the show. And it has been amazing. It's been a break. I've had surgery. All kinds of things have happened, but we're going to go ahead and get started. I see a bunch of you in the chat, and hopefully you guys have seen your comments up on the screen. And if you are listening to the audio version of the show, you are probably like, what in the world is happening? And what's happening is we are now going live on my YouTube channel as well as the audio version. And tonight I've got 2 guests. One, you guys have heard from before and seen before, maybe. But, Austin, welcome back to the show.
What's up, sports fans?
But I knew you were going to say that. So it's been quite a few couple months, Austin.
Yeah, well, we've been busy in those few couple months, even though the podcast hasn't been cranking out. We've been cranking out some other stuff.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And if you can hear us in the chat, please put some comments and we'll throw those up. But we're going to pause from Austin for just a second because the Positive Impact Season, the main reason I named it that, we'll get into that in a second. But our guest is none other than founder and CEO of Responsible Stewardship, Mr. Benny Braden. Thank you for joining us.
What's going on?
How are you, Mr. Public Lands, by the way? I got my Mr. Public Lands
I love it.
shirt on.
It. Looking beautiful as usual.
Looking beautiful as usual. And not only have Benny and I been chatting, but Benny and Austin and I have been chatting, and we got some amazing things planned for you guys in 2023. So, Benny, give a big wave. There he goes. So before we get into chatting with Austin and before we get into chatting with Benny, I got to give you guys some housekeeping notes. So it's been a couple months since the last episode, and I feel a little rusty because it's actually been about 3 months since Austin and I recorded our last episode. And to be honest with you guys, I wasn't quite sure if I was actually going to be coming back and continuing the podcast. And that's one of the main reasons I decided to do seasons, because it allows me to have a theme, which this season is the positive impact. And we're going to have section hikers on. We're going to have hikers on. We're going to have people that I enjoy listening to and partnering with on the show. that are not only hiking, but creating a positive impact wherever they are. So that's the main reason I wanted to do a season. The second reason I wanted to do seasons is because it allows me to work a little bit different schedule. And what I mean by that is typically the podcast would come out every Saturday. And I've decided I'm not going to do that. I'm only going to do, I shouldn't say only, I'm going to do 2 episodes a month. So the first Saturday and the third Saturday of the month, you can expect a release of Jester Section Hiker. And in addition to that, we are going to be going live just like we are here. So how can you be part of the live? Everyone is asking. All you got to do is sign up to be on my email list. I'll send you a link. You'll get a link 24 hours prior to the live showing. And then you can join us like we have. It looks like we have about 6 people here. Hey, I'm good with that. Hopefully you guys are interacting in the chat and all that good stuff. So a real easy way to become part of the email list, just email me, jester@jestersectionhiker.com. And there you go. You could email me. I don't know who Liz is. Somebody named Liz is joining. Did Benny go somewhere?
No, I'm still here.
Okay. I don't know who Liz is. Liz, I'm sorry. I don't know who you are. I put the big X. I'm not sure who you are. That's interesting. So anyway, as you guys can see, we are live. I am learning all kinds of new software, and here we are. So we are working off of a software now called eCam.com, or also known as eCam Live, which is allowing us to go live on YouTube. It was a learning curve. It took me about a couple months to learn. Liz keeps calling. I'm not sure who Liz is. I keep Xing her out. But see, that's the thing about going live. Somebody keeps calling and trying to get on the live, and I don't know who they are. So Liz, if you're out there, stop calling. We don't know who you are. So anyway, the podcast is going to be coming out the first and the third Saturday of the month, starting in January 2023. It is now a season, the positive impact season. We are going to continue to have section hikers on the show, but we're also, in addition, talking to the guest. I want to know what impact that you are making where you are, thus the new title for the season. And I decided that I am going to follow my school schedule. And what that means is when school's out, Jester's out. So there you go. So when school is out, Jester's out. I used to stress over making episodes and try to front load things, but I'm not going to worry about that anymore. And Austin gave me approval to do that, so I feel good about it. So before we do anything else, I just want to recognize everybody that's in the chat. Once again, thank you guys for joining us for the live session. If you want to get involved and be part of the live session and you want to join us in the chat, all you got to do is email me, jester@jestersectionhiker.com. And without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to Austin. And Austin has been released to pretty much say what we've been working on. So Austin's here to spill the beans about what we've been doing.
Yeah, we've been pretty busy. So I don't even know where to start.
Well, I guess we'll start with Woods Hole, because the last conversation we'd had with everybody is we were going to Woods Hole and we didn't know if I was going to be coming back for the podcast.
So you are coming back for the podcast. There, I spilled the beans.
There, I spilled the beans.
No, so we went to Woods Hole for the Woods Hole weekend and had an awesome time. I had a great time filming that whole weekend and getting to meet some good folks. And then, so I guess we'll just put it out there. So Jester and I have started a media company. And after much deliberation.
Well, wait a minute. My mom and dad are on here. So Mom and Dad, I've started a media company.
And so with much deliberation, we came up with the name Alternate Route Media. And the thought process behind that name is that we all find, excuse me, I can't say, can't talk. We all find joy in the outdoors. But some of us, have turned that love of the outdoors into something else. So in Benny's case, and I won't steal too much of Benny's thunder. But he started the nonprofit Responsible Stewardship. In our case, or in my case specifically, I started the YouTube channel Side Trail Adventures. Jester started her podcast. But everybody has gone down their own alternate route. And so that's what it means for us. So with that media company, Alternate Route Media, there's going to be a few things. The first thing that's going to start, next month is we're going to have another podcast. Yes, another podcast. But it's going to be, once a month, the third Thursday of each month. And it's going to be live just like this. And, so the January episode, is going to be, we're calling it our pilot episode. And that's going to be just talking about what got us to that point. Cause there's been a whole lot that has gotten us to that point. And then, each episode, from every month is going to be, interviewing someone that has created something, from their love of the outdoors that has created that alternate route for themselves. So I'm super excited about that. You can see that Jester has really gone down the podcast rabbit hole.
I have created Jester Studios, by the way. I've been wanting to do this for about 2 years, so I've done it. I have a beautiful wall. I don't even want to go in the story behind this wall. Benny's laughing.
The setups are no accident. There's a lot of work that goes into that. So yeah, we're really excited about that. Trying out some new software, trying out some new gear, just for the podcast.
Yeah. And new lights. You guys, this light that is actually on me, oh my goodness. I mean, I could light the neighborhood.
Yeah. I've got the same light, and my wife, she makes fun of me. She says it looks like a big parachute. I wish there was a way I could like turn the camera around right now and show you how ridiculous it looks.
We need to show all this equipment. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, maybe we do like behind the scenes Instagram post or something, but anyways, so that's the podcast, Alternate Route podcast that'll be coming out next month. And then, so there's three facets of Alternate Route Media. The podcast is the first one. The second one, is we're going to be doing short films. And the first one's going to be, with, Mr. Braden, who you've already met. And we're going to be talking to him.
There's
about,
Benny right there, front and center.
Fortunately, we have talked to Benny about this before tonight. But so we've got that in the works. We're going to be doing a short film about responsible stewardship, and I'll let him tell you all about responsible stewardship. And then the third facet is something you've kind of already seen, but we're going to be going a lot deeper. So Jester and I did put together I Am the MST series, and that came out this past September about the Mountains of Sea Trail. And so for those that saw my video that I just posted up on my channel about, kind of next steps and why I haven't really been active on YouTube and everything, I kind of mentioned that we've got a documentary project in the works for 2023. And so I'm not going to say a whole lot of the details about that documentary, but I will say that it is hiking related, and it's going to be awesome.
Okay. Sky's the limit, right? It's hiking related, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. But we don't exactly have a release date on that yet. I kind of made it one of my stipulations with this project that I wasn't ready to put a timeline on it just yet.
Yeah. And we're not even going to start filming that. We actually start filming that February the 9th.
Yeah. So we haven't even started yet. But I foresee it's going to take most of 2023. So we'll see when that comes out. But, as things develop, we're probably going to put teasers out and that kind of thing to kind of let you know what to expect, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah. So there have been a couple questions in the chat that I want to address. Number one, where did it go? Sean wants to know, will the audio of the new podcast be on the Hiking Radio Network? Actually, it will not, Sean. We are starting, we will have our audio over on Alternate Route Media, but the Jester Section Hiker podcast will still be part of the Hiking Radio Network. But rest assured, we will put it all out there and you'll be able to find it. And I think the key component to the Alternate Route podcast is going to be the live version. So
yeah,
we want everybody to come over to YouTube.
The other thing that's probably worth noting about the Alternate Route podcast is we're not going to be talking to just hikers. Half of my love of the outdoors involves kayaking. Not that we're going to have just hikers and just kayakers, but we're going to be talking to gear producers. We're going to be talking to Benny. So, Benny's started his nonprofit. So we're not limiting ourselves to just, one aspect of the outdoors. We're going to be talking to people that enjoy the outdoors in all different kinds of ways. So that's one of the aspects I'm actually most excited about is the fact that we're going to be talking to a lot of different people from a lot of different backgrounds.
Yeah, and we just had a great call this afternoon,
Yes.
right before we got on here, talking with another small business owner that had an idea that was formed from him thinking, from going to different events and being outdoors. And we are just excited. And really overall with Alternate Route Media is Austin and I were doing a lot of sharing of what we were doing on the Jester Section Hiker show. So I told Austin earlier, we're breaking up. And so we're breaking up on the Jester Section Hiker show, and we're starting the Alternate Route Media and the Alternate Route podcast, so we can venture over and talk about various different things outside of the Jester podcast. But yeah, Austin, anything else you can think of that you want to share behind the scenes?
I think that Jester and I have really kind of been pulling out all the stops as far as creative juices go. So I think you can expect, at least with our projects, it's going to be better than I Am the MST.
Yeah.
At least that's what we're aiming for.
I don't know. That was pretty good. I'm really proud of I Am the MST.
Yeah.
So in the chat, if you have watched I Am the MST, give us a big thumbs up because that was a lot of hard work. And a lot of dedication, and we did it, and we're very proud of it. So, Austin, I'm really looking forward to it, and now I'm going to switch us over. See how this fancy software just allows me to switch over and do different things, and all of a sudden, there's Benny. So,
Here I am. Benny,
welcome back to the show. I'm so glad you're here. It is very long overdue. You'll get a kick out of this. I don't know if anybody on here remembers us. We went live during COVID and we called ourselves Base Camp Chat. And we went live with Johnny on the Trail and Lori from over at the Hike podcast. And I've been wanting to have Benny on the show. And I started following Benny. I was trying to think back when I started following you, and it was our first correspondence is when you were out the first time breaking the fastest known, or trying to break the fastest known time of completing all 900 trails in the Smokies. So you did that once, and I guess that wasn't good enough. So you went back the next year later and did that again. And then I think you and I started corresponding over Instagram. And then this thing called COVID happened. And then Benny decided that people were going out and not treating our public lands properly. And you have since created a nonprofit, Responsible Stewardship. And part of the theme for Jester this season is creating a positive impact. And you've done that, my friend, and long overdue. Welcome back to the show. You guys, big thumbs up for Benny.
Hey, thank you so much. I
Austin
really appreciate
gives the big
it.
thumbs up.
Yes, yes.
Oh, you know what I just remembered too, Benny? We did several Instagram lives during COVID.
Yeah.
You and I did. We did one. We went for an hour, and then we went back again and did another hour. So you and I have a long-standing relationship with going live.
Yeah, that was a good session. A lot of interaction with people chiming in and had great questions and all that. Kind of going back a little bit where you started at talking about the 900 miler, and actually I did both of those FKTs in the same year. They were all in 2017.
Wow.
The first one was a wintertime hike where I hiked all 800 miles of trail inside the park. They call it 900 miler because most people are going to hike 1,500 miles just to do the trail system.
Because you have to overlap so many trails.
You have to overlap, you got to backtrack, you got to do all that. So we were able to do that first one in 944 miles in 78 days. And I didn't even start that hike with the intent of doing an FKT. I only hiked 3 days a week for the first month. And then I found out about the FKT, so I went ahead and did it. I was already pretty much set to break it. But it got so much attention, it was really embarrassing because it didn't
Now, wait a minute. I
like,
don't believe that with you, Benny.
It was embarrassing. It didn't look like what an FKT hike is supposed to look like. So I made the decision to come back that fall and do it again. And that time I did 924 miles in 43 days. And basically how I trimmed my mileage up, I had a friend that had a software that he could use. He had access to. He worked over at one of the government plants. And we took the Smokies mapping system, my routes, overlaid everything. And that basically it's the same type system that UPS and mail carriers and stuff like that use. See, municipalities use them to plan our garbage routes. So we just basically use technology to show where I was hiking too much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I worked it out and was able to trim up some mileage. And that was even after the park opened up additional miles from the fires that they had quite a few trails closed in. But yeah, that's kind of jumping back on that. But yeah, I really had a strong dependence on the outdoors, on hiking. To this point, I've hiked roughly around 9,000 miles. And
I know you've done some section hiking because we got to get that section hiking. I know you've done several section hikes on the Appalachian Trail too. Yeah,
I did from Springer Mountain all the way up to Damascus and Grayson Highlands, basically twice. Some sections I did 3 or 4 times. You know how it is. You'll go and do a section, then you have friends that are like, I want to go do that. So then you go back again just so that they can go. And so I did that a few times. Really enjoyed it, and actually I took a break from the AT to do the Smokies. Until then, that's all I was doing. I was doing that. I did one section hike on the Cumberland Trail in Tennessee prior to that. But outside that, it was mostly, the AT going in and really enjoyed those times. Most of it was winter hikes. So I enjoyed hiking in the snow and just being out there when no one else was and having the trail to myself. And
that sounds pretty good right now.
Being able to clear my thoughts and just kind of clear off my desk and get things straightened up for me. So that's how I kind of stumbled back into hiking, which I grew up in the outdoors and all that, but really got serious about it in my late 20s was whenever I really started like going at it pretty good.
And I know you did the Benton Mackay Trail too, because I think that's when I realized you had a YouTube channel.
Yeah. Yeah, I did the Bent Mackay. Actually, I did it a time and a half. The first attempt, I'd hurt my foot day one because it was raining really hard, and made it to the halfway point. The guy I was hiking with had injured himself, so he made the decision to get off trail. And later that was 2018. Later that year, we were supposed to do the Uinta Highline Trail, which was where we filmed Highline. And then before that, that was ending my summer. To begin, I was going to start out on the Long Trail in Vermont, then go over to do the JMT in California, and then go straight directly and do Highline. So I knew I had like some epic hikes coming up, and I wanted to make sure that I was healthy for that. And sometimes getting over injuries can be kind of tough. I'm type 2 diabetic, and whenever I do get injured, sometimes it's an ordeal just to heal from that.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of injury, I totally forgot to tell you guys how my foot was doing, because I had foot surgery a little bit over 8 weeks ago. And that was one of the main reasons. Another main reason I took a break from the podcast is so I could focus on healing and resting and not having to worry. And I'm happy to report, I just went to my surgeon this past Wednesday. And Mom and Dad, if you're still on here, I'm happy to report that he says I'm right where I'm supposed to be. So we're moving in a positive direction. And you guys, I'm serious. This has really, really brought me down. Like this foot, not being able to get out, not being able to do what I want to do. And now I see, besides the light that's beaming down on me, I see a light at the end of the tunnel. I still have a long way to go, even though in my mind, I want to start planning hikes and I want to start saying, hey, yeah, I can go do this and I can go do that. But I'm not to that point. I even had to cancel. We were going to go with Benny in January, and I just had to back down and say, it's not time. I'm not ready. And, so I'm taking it slow. I'm not planning any hikes this year. I'm not quite sure. I plan on getting out on the trail, but I just don't know when. And that's agonizing. And I think that's one of the things that all three of us have talked about. And Benny, I know you hurt your foot, and Austin's too busy editing to get out and do anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ibuprofen does wonders. I've
eaten so much ibuprofen. It's like, I can't even take it anymore. It doesn't do anything.
Well, that's how I found out I was type 2 diabetic. After injuring my foot on the Bent Mackay, I was taking stupid amounts of Ibu when I was out there, just trying to get to halfway. And I was talking to my doctor about it at one point, and he's like, well, let's just check it's been a while since we did blood work. Let's just see how your kidneys are doing since you were abusing them. And did the blood work, came in, said, okay, I need you to come back in the next morning and fast. Don't eat anything. So I did that.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah, he came back in and said, okay, you're type 2 diabetic. He was like, I had 2 consecutive readings above 300. And normal blood sugar range should be somewhere around 100, somewhere in that neighborhood. And so we found it by accident because I was showing 0 signs, 0 symptoms. And I didn't have a clue, and still to this day, that was 2018. Still to this day, I struggle with trying to get my blood sugar under control. Some of it is being stubborn and being frustrated with the medical system. And, sometimes I get in my head too much and just say, well, it doesn't matter to them, it doesn't matter to me, and go eat like a big fat burger or something, eat like a big pizza and drink a bunch of beer or something. But
that's what
I've been doing really good. Yeah, I actually started a new monitoring system. I can use my phone, and it's kind of has like a sensor on my arm.
Oh, I see it.
So it tells me what my blood sugar is anytime, and pretty cool deal. It's allowed me to kind of stay on top of that, and I've been
Benny,
watching
you need to stay on top of that. Serious business.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. A lot of times my vision gets really blurry whenever my blood sugar's up real high or I get super exhausted. But so far, so good. We're doing good. So it's all about trying to stay on track and get back in the gym and just try to keep moving.
I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to walking anywhere at this point. So we are making without having a big boot on my foot or anything like that. But I will say one thing that I've learned. I can't decide if I didn't take advantage enough when I was able to do those big long miles and crank out 20 milers and do all this stuff. I sit and wonder, did I really absorb everything I was able to do when I was pain free? And I hope I did, because now I think I'll be pretty cautious on when I do. And I won't go from the couch to the next day doing a 20 miler because it did catch up to me. It does catch up to you. Yeah, they hurt.
I do that a lot. That's not fun.
No.
I don't know why I like that abuse so much.
I know. I if I could, I'd go tomorrow and do it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
We never really think about it until the day we try it and we're like, oh, why did I do this to myself?
Yeah. And I see Hawk is in the chat, and Hawk does like 20 after 20 after 20 after 20 after 20. I could keep going. But Hawk, we love watching you, and thanks for joining us. But so absorb it all, people. If you're pain free and you can go out, absorb it all, take advantage. And when you do hurt yourself, like the old folks, Benny and me on here, take care of yourself. Benny?
Yeah. I think it's also too about obviously, we've heard the body in motion stays in motion or something like that. It's all about, staying moving. And when we do get sedentary and we do lay on the couch too much or whatever, we do try to get back out and do those things. It's tough for our body to adjust. So, for me over the years, I've really abused that a lot. And I shouldn't have. Matter of fact, when I started my second 900 miler, I went from the couch to the trail because I had plantar fasciitis so bad that in my mind, I was thinking, okay, if I give my foot rest, it'll go away. And then I can get on the trail and work my way back up to my normal mileage. So it ended up being, when I started out, I was only doing like 15 miles a day on that second one.
I know we say only 15 miles, but that's a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot. But I mean, in the end, after I was able to get my legs and my lungs underneath me, I was having to push out some 30s and 35s just to be able to make up that difference because, I had wasted
Austin's
so much
face
time
is
in the
like,
beginning.
No, thank you.
No, it was not fun. I can tell you an FKT hike is not fun. It's everything but fun. It's a job. And especially if you're competitive like myself. So you're in competition with yourself 100% of the time. And you're hiking in weather that you would never want to be in ever. Like I was in like almost like tropical storm type rains, high winds. I've been hiking in ice storms, in blizzard-like conditions.
So typical Smokies weather then.
Yeah, typical Great Smoky Mountains National Park weather.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, super high winds where trees are falling around you and stuff like that. Really dangerous situations. Looking back on all that abuse and all that other stuff, I don't know that it was worth it or any of that, but it did make for a good story, and it was definitely type 2 fun.
I have a sticker in my office. It literally says, "The AT ruined my life." And I look at that now and I go, did the AT ruin my feet? But
I tell you, it did open up some doors for me. Obviously,
you got that right.
Kind of put me out there to where, I was able to meet a lot of cool people. Many of them have become really close friends with me. And I've got to hike all over the world, to be able to go to like Turkey or Scotland or do Highline, be in a full length documentary, or even, go to Alaska and help out with different projects. It's been a huge privilege. But, when you're out and you're going to all those places, you also see what kind of shape some of these places are getting into. So when you're in the outdoors, you already had a record of this is what our outdoor space looks like leading up to 2020. I guess this is a good segue into
well, I was going to segue over because you said something when the three of us, me, you, and Austin, were on the phone, and it really, resonated with me. You said, because we were talking about not hiking as much as we used to and things like that, and, looking at various outlets, and you said pretty much starting responsible stewardship, going out, cleaning up our public lands gives you that same feeling now as when you go out and you hike big miles. So talk about that. Talk about how responsible stewardship is helping you make that positive impact.
Yeah. I started responsible stewardship. I guess you could say it was birthed at Max Patch. Everybody remembers all the abuse that was occurring the fall of 2020. All the different colleges coming in and all these kids having their frat parties up on top of the mountain, and just really abusing the place, leaving tents and sleeping bags, pulling up the AT post to burn, breaking down fences or cutting down saplings, using the bathroom all over the top of the mountain. It was to a point where for 9 weeks, I was going up on the mountain. I was driving 2.5 hours to there to clean it up and then come back with a truckload of trash. And my whole back of the truck was always full of tents and sleeping bags and debris and tons of bags of TP and lots of alcohol containers. It was almost traumatizing because that was my backyard, right? That's our backyard. And some people would consider it as a sacred place. It's just an iconic
anybody that's
location.
been to Max Patch, it's pretty sacred place, especially for those AT hikers out there. I mean, Max Patch, when you get up there, it's the first spot. I mean, technically, if you're a northbounder, you're above tree line, really.
Yeah. It was shocking, and I knew I had to do something. I didn't know what, because I relied on the outdoors. I struggle with PTS, post-traumatic stress, from my service as a first responder. I was a firefighter, rescue diver, EMT, for like 13, 14 years. And still continue to teach like swiftwater rescue and vehicle extrication for some time past that. But I relied on the outdoors for some of my healing, to be able to cope. That's why you'll hear me say clean off my desk. That's all this stuff. Everybody, if you think about what's going on in your head, if you think about a desk and how it gets so messed up and piled up, and if you're trying to straighten your desk up, you're just trying to put things back where they belong, right? Put files back. So I'm just taking one thing at a time and just dealing with that when I'm on the trail. And that kind of puts me back where I need to be, like, here. And so I relied on these outdoor spaces to clean off my desk. But now I see them, abused, and I felt like I had to do something to kind of help care for them, or maybe help educate, because all these were new people to the outdoors. All these were new college kids. They had never been out. You could see it whenever they would go to assemble a tent, and they would break it in the process of putting it together. So they would just leave it.
In a big Walmart tent that fit about 10 people.
Yeah, that still have the tag on them. Most of the stuff we pulled out still had tags on it from Walmart. So they just stopped at Walmart on the way, bought whatever, went up there, and just couldn't figure it out. But I just felt like I needed to do something. And I kind of got connected with a good friend of mine, Jerry Willis, there in Knoxville. Together, we kind of did Save Our Smokies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still the vice president of that organization. We still go in the park and do a lot of stuff. Our first year as a nonprofit, we removed 10,000 pounds inside the park alone. But I felt like there's got to be more. I mean, there's just got to be more to stewardship, that I could do more. And so if you ever look on the inside of the Save Our Smokies logo, it's actually the one right there. On the inside of it, it says Responsible Stewardship. So we used it as a tagline, but I knew I wanted to do something with it. So late last year, we decided to turn it into a nonprofit. It took us 10 months just to get all the legal stuff through. But we are officially a nonprofit now, a 501c3 nonprofit. And, we're all volunteer. Nobody gets paid. And 100% of the donations that come in turn around and gets taken care of for responsible stewardship, whether it's our website or whether it's going right back out into the community.
And you know what? I say bravo because, you've stuck with that. You truly have because, back during COVID, it was like, everybody was pick up the garbage, stay off our public lands. And, things have kind of actually died off.
Yeah.
The people going out on the public lands haven't died off, but the people cleaning up have died off. And that's one of the reasons that I wanted to have, this season is the positive impact season where people they don't have to be in East Tennessee. They don't have to be in North Carolina where we are. People could be wherever they are making an impact. I know Hawk, I don't know if he's still on here, but he picks up stuff. Everybody on here in this chat that I know, they're trying to make an impact where they are. And
that's good.
I'm excited about it. I'm excited for you. Give us a little hint of something coming up in 2023.
Well, to wrap up 2022, just to kind of go over some numbers, let me go over some numbers with you.
Yes, please.
This is what kind of impact that we've made this year. Actually, everybody's made. For starters, we've done about 2,447 volunteer hours. Now, if you take that with the national average of what the value is for the volunteer hour, which is $29.95, that's $73,287. Yeah, $73,287 worth of value that we brought into communities. Because we don't just clean up public lands, we clean up communities. And inside those numbers, we've partnered with two different national parks, three different national forests. We've had different cleanups in 14 different states. We've done a total of 31 cleanups. We've removed 157 tires.
Jeez.
We've removed 13 illegal dump sites across the U.S. And as far as partnership cleanups, we've done 17 different partnership cleanups where we partner with other organizations. And the Race the Trace Challenge that we hold every year, this was our third year. This year, the Race the Trace Challenge impact on our public lands and outdoors was 7,636 pounds worth of trash and litter removed during the challenge. And we had $75,000 or $7,500 worth of gear to give away during that challenge. So it was less than $1 per pound to get that trash removed. But here's the best part. 100% of the labor that did this was all volunteer.
Yeah.
100%. Our total for the year, 41,072 pounds for this year alone.
Bravo,
unbelievable.
Sir.
That's insane. When we first started this year, I wanted to get to 10,000 pounds. And we got to 10,000 pounds, and I was like, okay, let's get to 15. And we got to 15, and then after the fall, because we had some big partnership cleanups where we did Fontana Lake, and our crew alone removed 10,000 pounds from Fontana Lake. And then whenever I say
that
our
is
crew,
insane.
Responsible Stewardship and Save Our Smokies. Save Our Smokies is basically a sister organization if you look at it that way. But then we had our watch bar cleanup. We removed almost 4,000 pounds there, and just the other day removed 1,900 pounds of tires from an illegal dump site down the road. So that's a lot of stuff, and that's just for this past year.
So tell us, because I'm gonna let the time will get away from me, and you guys know if you're familiar with listening to the podcast, I never do what time. Austin's laughing, so
20 minutes means 40 minutes.
I've tried 20-minute shows. I've tried 30-minute shows. It doesn't work. And then I said this. I wanted this to be around 45 minutes because it's a Sunday evening, and that's not going to work. So here we are, episode 1, season 4 already.
Starting it out right, breaking rules. But I'll tell you what, there's a lot of chatter in the chat right now. People are saying great work, nice work, thank you. I'm going to pop another one up here from Alonda. Great work, but also sad. Yes. And I know that looks crazy on the screen right now, but I'll figure that out. Hawk, we cannot get rid of tires for you. Okay. We can.
Yeah.
We were just having that conversation before we went live about the fact that it costs money to dispose of tires correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Typically about $1 a tire. Actually in Tennessee, they charge $1 when you purchase a tire. They charge $1. That dollar goes to the county that tire was sold in. But then once you go to dispose that tire inside that county dump can also charge you up to like $2, somewhere in that neighborhood. One of our stewardship partners here locally has gotten our local state representative involved, and they have allowed us to take the tires. They pick them up, so they don't charge us anything for them. But one of the things that we want to do in Tennessee and maybe even across the states is get it to where nonprofits like ours don't have to pay to dispose of tires, because it's not our tires. We're just picking them up.
Yeah.
And so we're going to try to that's one of my lifelong goals, I guess my long-term goal is to get that accomplished, but maybe even get it set to where everyday individuals can go and dispose of their tires, because these people are being charged for tires. So, and sometimes when you have, the lack of integrity.
Benny, I got to interrupt you. Pull that mic up. There we go.
How's this?
That's
Oh, it's so much better.
It's so much better.
So
that thing
good.
was rubbish. See what happens when you go live, people? The mic, I was like, I can't take it.
Yeah. No, I'm sitting here moving around. I'm getting put me in, coach. Yeah. But yeah, our goal is hopefully someday to see it to where everybody can take their tires to their local county waste disposal place and be able to dispose them for free. Because until we do that, people are just going to start, they're going to continue to illegally dump them whenever they can.
I don't understand. I don't know if people just, I've been hiking so many times, and everybody on here that's listening to this, and you're just walking down the trail, and if you're by any water, it's like, where do these tires come from?
Yeah.
Mattresses. Like, where does this stuff come from?
Yeah. It's just a lack of integrity in our society. And you got some individuals that just don't.
They just don't
care.
All right. So care. Benny.
But anyways.
Yes.
2023.
2023.
Here's what everybody has to look for. For us, we have a big year ahead of us. We're starting an affiliate program. After the first year, we'll have an application up on our website that anybody can go to. And we're going to be looking for individuals that want to take action in their own community across the whole United States. And obviously, part of the criteria is for those people to be active on social media, because we want you to share what you're finding, but more importantly, what you're doing about it. So we see a lot of people post trash, but very few people show what they're doing with that. And we want to see that, because that is going to encourage the next person to pick up what they find and properly dispose of it as well. But our goal is to suit up an individual. Our goal is for 25 states for 2025 or 2023. And we're going to suit you up with a vest, a reflective vest, so that whenever you're maybe encouraging you to do cleanups, where you're organizing them, you look official, people know who to report to. But then we're also going to send you like 10 reusable gloves. So you just wash them when you're done and reuse them again. And we'll get you connected with a local brewery, or we will send you barley bags, the bags that the barley comes in, because they typically just throw them away. And that's actually what we collect our trash in. We are a zero added waste organization. And you collect your trash in that, empty those into the dumpster, rinse them out, and reuse them again and again and again. You're extending the life of that product. And but also we'll be sending T-shirts, and then we also reimburse any disposal fees, anything of that nature. But
that's awesome.
Got to have an active social media account. You got to be posting. And one, we'll probably end up doing some kind of competition thing where at the end of the year, whoever picks up the most, we'll hook them up with a $250 gift. Could be a gift card from REI. It could be a stay at a resort somewhere. And then we'll also have one for the person who does the most organized cleanups. But there's more details that are going to be in that. But
I put your website up there, but I think I spelled it wrong in the chat. But you guys, it is responsiblestewardship.org. Yep. Tons of stuff going on in 2023. Let me make sure I get this right. You want to find 25 responsible stewardship stewards in 25 different states. And I already know a couple here. We've got some people in Maryland. We got some people in Virginia. We've got some people in North Carolina in the chat. So there's 3 states right there. RVA, Hiker Girl. Okay, this is way too big, but I'll figure out how to put this stuff in the chat sooner or later on the screen so you guys can see it. But the main goal of this show, number one, is to come back and say, yes, I'm back for another season. I'm titling this The Positive Impact Season. Austin and I are breaking up. Not really. We are forming a business. We're forming the Alternate Route Media. Austin, anything else you want to say about Alternate Route Media?
No, good things are coming.
We haven't really broken up. We're going to have episodes come out on the 1st and the 3rd Saturday of the month. This is not the last time you're going to see this character over here, Mr. Benny Braden.
Oh, yeah.
And the goal is in 2023 to create a positive impact. I know for certain, Benny, I believe you're going to see me in Austin in April. And I think October, and somewhere between then, the 3 of us are going to get together and we're going to work on, I don't know if Austin said this or not. I can't tell what we're working on.
The short film?
A short film. There you go.
Yeah, we talked about that.
And there is a lot going on in 2023. I'm feeling better. Benny's going to take care of himself with his diabetes. And Austin's going to be doing a lot of creating and filmmaking. So, good times for everybody.
And next year, our goal, obviously we hit 41,000 this year. Next year, we want double that.
Oh, why not 100,000?
80,000 pounds.
I say 100.
Yeah, let's do 100.
I want RVA Hiker Girl in here. I want her to pick up alone 3,000 pounds. Okay, everybody needs to pledge. What are you going to pick up? Put it in the comments. What, you can pledge 20 pounds. That's easy, right?
Easy. You'd be surprised how fast that weight adds up.
One tire is what?
One tire typically depends on the vehicle. It could be 30, 40, 50, 60 pounds. It's kind of depending on what you got, whether it's a small car or a pickup truck.
I'm not going to say.
It adds up fast. It adds up fast.
Hey, Carissa. Carissa says her organization picks up tons of trash in our park, and we appreciate it, Carissa.
Amazing.
There's somebody in here, I'm going to say names, said an IOU. No, I need a number. I need a number of what you're going to pick up. Listen, I could go out in my neighborhood right now and pick up 20 pounds of trash. And that's all it takes, right?
In our overall goal, obviously we have the affiliate, program. But our overall goal is just to get everybody involved in their own community and getting them to take care of the road in front of their house. Right. Or the park down the road. They don't have to travel so far away to do these special big cleanups or anything like that. They can do what they can right there in their own community. You'd be surprised once you start looking down how much trash there actually is on the ground. Our goal is to make everyone litter conscious for 2023. We've been litter blind all this time as a nation. And it's time we start paying attention. Once you start seeing it, or once you see one, you'll start seeing the rest of it, and you'll be shocked at how much trash is actually on the ground in the ditch next to the road, or even on the lake bank or creek bank.
Yeah, I told you.
Clean
every
lands
time I
equal
see
clean
garbage,
waters.
I say your name, plug it in.
That's
or
it.
Benny. Yeah, I'm like, it's your fault. All right,
That's
you guys.
I have a lot of friends that are that way.
And everybody on here now, just be more cautious in 2023. Make a positive impact. If somebody sees you doing it, they will probably do it as well. Oh, and Carissa says, and it's great to involve kids and teach them how to be good stewards of our public lands. 100%.
Yes.
And Susan, or my friend Kansas, who I hiked the AT with in 2015, she says, why not? Her car smells like hiker trash anyway. So there you go. Why not? Listen, all you Raleigh, North Carolina people, I know you guys are out there picking up garbage already, especially in segment 10 on the Mountains of Sea Trail. And it is hard to believe how much garbage is actually in segment 10 of the Mountains of Sea Trail. Oh, Sean says he picks up trash sometimes as part of his job and strongly suggests using the grabbing tools to pick up many items. Yes, indeed.
Yep.
And I saw somebody posted yesterday, they just took their tongs from the house and started putting it in their day pack. Why not?
Lightweight.
That's not a bad idea.
Lightweight. There you go. There you go. And typically, if you're out hiking, if you're day hiking, it's real easy. If you're on a section hike, you'll probably go see a garbage can within a day or two and make it happen. And Alonda says, once you know, you can't ignore it anymore. There you go.
100%.
That's the truth.
That's the truth. All right, you guys.
Once you pick up one piece, it just
done.
You can't not see it anymore.
You're done. And all of you are doomed in a good way right now on the Jester Section Hiker podcast. So for the rest of the season, if you want to be part of the live version, email me at jester@jestersectionhiker.com. On YouTube, in the description, I don't know if that's what you call it on YouTube, I've got Austin's information, Benny's information, the ethics of responsible stewardship, how you guys can get involved. That will be in the description forever. This will not be the last time you will see Austin or Benny. And Julie Hill, I see you on there. Thank you for joining us. You guys, I truly appreciate it. It's really good to be back. It's weird to be live, but I will get used to it. It wasn't that bad. Wasn't that bad, was it, Austin?
Smooth as silk.
Smooth as silk. Austin's like, let's go. All right, Benny. Thank you. Thank you, Austin.
Thank you.
As always,
Absolutely.
I'm still going to say it. Thanks for listening. Be safe out there, everybody, and happy section hiking.
I'm wondering if you'd go wandering with me through the wilderness and woods to where the winds are blowing free, through the darkness of the night heading toward the morning light. I wonder if you'd wander with me, and I'll spread the word and you beat the drum. We'll round up the troops and get the gang to come, and we'll leave the streets and these neighborhoods, head over the river and through the woods. You're wondering if I go wandering with you, what kind of trouble we'll get ourselves into. Would it be wrong to tag along with a band of vagabonds? You wonder if I'd wander with you. So I'll spread the word and you beat the drum. We'll round up the troops and get the gang to come, and we'll leave the streets and these neighborhoods, head over the river and through the woods. I'm wondering if you'd come wandering my way, if you ever get lost or if the trail leads you astray. The music of the pack can always bring you back. I wonder, can we wander away? And I'll spread the word and you beat the drum. We'll round up the troops and get the gang to come, and we'll leave the streets and these neighborhoods, head over the river and through the woods.
Hello, Saver. Whether you're saving for that trip to the tropics or saving for an emergency, now is the time to take advantage of Wells Fargo's savings options. Wells Fargo offers savings accounts that can help you save towards your goals. So, what are you saving for? Visit a Wells Fargo branch or wellsfargo.com/save to open a savings account today.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.